home under a heavy pine chair, just a match and a cutter in the evening air. I leave the phone on the table, leave the world at the door. Don't need the noise or the grip of the floor. Just a cedar and the leaf and the blue-gray trail, watching shadows grow long over the rusted rail. It's a 60-minute mercy, a slow burning grace, before I head to the lounge, to my rightful place. The torch flame flickers, the ash starts to gray. Wash the dust of the valley and the burdens away. So keep them lit, guys, let the thick clouds roll. There's a healing in the embers for a weary soul. From the pondering porch to the leather and the grain, where the kings of the smoke, where the salt of the plain. Pass the fire to your brother, let the circle sit till the last draw's taken. Keep them lit. Step through the cedar door, smell the bourbon and the age. Another chapter written on a tobacco page. There's a trucker, a lawman, and a hand from the mill, sharing stories in silence while the clock stands still. No man is a stranger once the cap is cut. We leave the pride and the labels in a gravelly rut. It's a brotherhood bonded by the ring and the rap, with the weight of the week falling into our laps. So keep them lit, guys, let the thick clouds roll. There's a healing in the embers for a weary soul. From the pondering porch to the leather and the grain, where the kings of the smoke, where the salt of the plain. Pass the fire to your brother, let the circle sit till the last draw's taken. Keep them lit. It ain't about the habit, it ain't about the vice. It's the ritual of brothers, where the soul finds its price. In the haze, we are steady. In the smoke, we are one. In the smoke, we are one. Let the thick clouds roll. There's a healing in the embers for a weary soul. From the pondering porch to the leather and the grain, where the kings of the smoke, where the salt of the plain. Pass the fire to your brother, let the circle sit till the last draw's taken. Keep them lit, yeah, keep them lit. Let it burn. Keep them lit.
Well, hello, and welcome to Keep 'em Lit, guys. It's good to have you all with us tonight. I'm Keith Meisner, aka CigarPop.
I'm Lance with Cigar Review by Lance. I'm sorry, trying to get comfortable. Welcome.
If you're new here, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. Also, tap that bell so you know when we go live or post something new. So what's on the agenda tonight?
Well, CigarPop, per one of our followers, by Road X Overland 2917, he wanted us to try the Acid Cuba Maduro. I don't believe I've had one of these in 5 or 6 years, so I can't remember what it tastes like, but we're going to find out tonight, buddy.
Well, I know I've had the Cuba Cuba. I have not had the Cuba Maduro. So basically, that's supposed to be the darker, richer version of the standard Cuba Cuba, and a regular Cuba Cuba leans sweeter and more herbal floral, while the Maduro version is supposed to add a heavier cocoa, espresso, earth,
Yeah,
molasses character
more,
to the broadleaf wrapper.
more earthy tone to it. You know, with the Cuba Cuba, like you said, is very herbal. I remember that one for sure.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and take mine out of the wrapper. Let's give it a cut.
Yeah.
All right. A little toast.
And
Tell you what,
obviously,
I
this
think
is
we're
the
in for a little treat.
Robusto.
Yes, it is.
I've been smoking Toro so much lately that I forgot what a Robusto looked like.
Definitely has some sweetness on the cap. It's not horrible. Kind of refreshing in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with you.
it's not that sweet on the cap on this one versus the Cuba Cuba. I do realize that difference. And I definitely pick up like a sweet cocoa on the cold draw.
Very sweet.
And obviously the florals.
Even even the smoke off of it has a certain smell to it. I mean, a floral smell to it.
Haven't even lit mine yet. I keep smelling it because I'm picking up like almost like an herbal incense kind of vibe.
Bring you back to the 70s. Oh, giving our age away.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, so Road X Overland 2917. He wanted us to try this, and we won't turn it down. We won't turn down a dare. Or should I say a challenge?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. It's been a while since I've had the Cuba Cuba. I'm thinking at least 3 years since the Cuba Cuba.
Yeah. Now, my wife, she enjoys the Cuba Cuba cigarillo. It's a Murado, something. It's a smaller cigarillo version of the same Cuba Cuba, and she loves them. And of course, I light them and I cut them for her, and then I hand it to her, and then she enjoys it. So I still get that taste in my mouth. You no way around it.
Right. I know that I definitely used to love these. When I started smoking, God, going back well over 20 years, probably into 30 years ago. Um, yeah, it was the 90s. I started with the blondies, and this kind of reminds me of the blondies. I mean, I've had other cigars, but when I started smoking the infused, it was the blondies that was smoking, and I used to buy them by the box.
Well, I remember you telling me about the fat bottom Betty's. So when I bought these, I went ahead and added me a fat bottom Betty in there because I've never tried one. So I may try it in a week or so.
Yeah, definitely like the fat bottom Betty's. That's one of the ones that to me was box worthy. I'm actually on my third box.
So it's also infused.
It's a sweetened tip, if I remember correctly. It's not infused; it's a sweet tip.
Much like the Drew Estate we reviewed a while back.
Yeah, just like the Buenos Noches,
Yes.
which is Dominican. This one I think is Nicaraguan.
I mean, it don't suck. It's got a nice flavor to it, to be honest with you. A little change of pace.
Yeah, definitely a change of pace. I don't know about strength as far as the cigar flavor and body goes. I mean, I'm only into the first few puffs. I would think that this is probably on the
I would say
medium
medium.
side.
Yeah. It's not got a lot of nicotine, I don't think. It doesn't taste like it does. Or the
Yeah, I don't have that
well,
bite on my tongue.
yeah, or the sweetness takes away from it. I don't know. It isn't bitter at all either.
And I'm actually pairing mine with a vintage cola.
Well, I'm pairing mine with just straight water.
There you go.
It's kind of warm and humid here in Louisiana, so I'm trying to stay a little on the hydration side. I tell
Yes.
you, the burns are really nice. Construction is really well, also, which I wouldn't expect anything less from Drew Estates anyway.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the construction, this thing looks very good. No real big veins. I could barely see the seam on it. The shoulder, can't tell if that's a single or a double.
Definitely
my
got
burn is pretty decent.
Yeah. It does have a lot of coca. It does have a lot of sweetness to it. I may have to try that Cuba also. See what that floral note
And
is
now,
about.
that's a lot more floral. This one here, I mean, I'm picking up on, some floral sweetness. It's got a creamy texture. I'm definitely picking up on the cocoa, and kind of think I want to say coffee. I say more like an espresso.
Now I'm not getting any of the espresso. I wish I could. I think
I'm picking up the espresso towards the back of my tongue on that one.
I'm just getting sweetness is all I'm getting, mostly more that the coca, a little earthiness to it, but that sweetness is just overwhelming for me. I can grab it.
Right, especially when you're used to smoking Habanos all the time. Your palate's going to be adjusted to a Habano or Maduro. When you have something like this, it's kind of like a treat. It's a little different.
I would agree. This isn't a treat. I mean, I'm not disappointed by any means. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna rush out and go buy a box, but I definitely would enjoy one of these every once in a while. So change of pace.
Now, not to knock these because this is smoking very well. It's got a nice burn so far. It's stacking the ash pretty nice, etc. I would probably still gravitate back towards the Dominicana Buenos Noches and the Fat Bottom Betty as my preferred sweeter cigars, even though they're not the infused.
Right.
The sweet cap. This here being an infused, like I said, it's different. It's kind of dessert-like to me. It's more of a treat than, my main course.
It is very nice, but I think I agree with you on the sweet cap part. I think I would enjoy it more instead of the infused. Because on the sweet cap, it did kind of fade as you got further and further into the cigar.
Right. My final third on the Buenos Noches, that was, to me, it had pretty much muted out the sweetness. If I remember correctly with these, one of the reasons why I liked them was because of that sweetness that would be left lingering. So if I remember correctly, we should still, experience the sweetness or sweet cap all the way through the final third.
Yeah, on this, I suspect it's going to be all the way to the very nub.
And I need to apologize to people in advance if my voice starts sounding a little high pitched and you're not hearing me as well. Today being a warmer, more humid day, apparently there's a higher pollen count, and it seems to be affecting my vocal cords.
Well, I just heard some thunder. I don't know if how far out it is, but we're gonna work on through this. See now, Jonathan Drew, him and his buddy Marvin Samuel, they started Acid Line back in I think 1995, 96, somewhere I believe, out of Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah,
and I think eventually Jonathan Drew went down to Nicaragua and he made a home down there. Oh, it was when their storm, a tornado hit or hurricane hit down there and destroyed everything. So he ended up moving back down there and bought property, and now they have their own fields, I guess. And man,
yeah. As far as a success story in a cigar line, Jonathan Drew definitely embodies that. Or Jonathan Drew Sand, since he now has his JD Sand and Son.
Man. Yeah, it says they looked at during a devastating production pipeline at the Vejo Habana. The company was almost forced into financial bankruptcy. Then Jonathan Drew took destiny into his own hands and forged a new chapter. So in '98, he moved down to Nicaragua and opened up Drew Estate's first factory. That's very ballsy. He knew he had something going on.
Right. Well, I guess it would kind of worked out for him doing that, considering the fact that 9/11, he was, before 9/11, he was selling from a kiosk at the World Trade Center.
Have you ever bought a cigar from a kiosk?
Well, actually, I bought them at bike rallies in mobile units. People or mobile cigar lounge will set up at different bike rallies I've been to.
Right.
And even my used to be local cigar lounge, he's even done mobile cigar sales, gone to different events and set up stands and sold that way. So I probably would, as long as it looked like it was humidified enough and it wasn't just, I don't think you had the same issue down there as I do up here, but in Philly, there used to be guys sitting on corners selling Philly pretzels. And it's not the cleanest, not the most sanitary. You definitely don't know how fresh they are. And you don't know the last time the guy washed his hands before you got you your pretzel. So you learn to avoid those things. I think I would probably do that with most cigar vendors back in the day. But I think I've learned enough over the years to be able to determine whether or not my cigar's dry, manhandled, aged out, whatever.
Well, I went down south, me and my nephew Daniel, a couple of us, and went to a brewery place in Bayou Teche, and they had their mobile cigar lounge up and running. And I guarantee if he had 50 cigars in that thing, I'd be surprised. He didn't have very much in it. So being a local, I wanted, buy local. I wanted to support him. So I went in, I bought 3 sticks. Tried one of them already, pretty good. Those mobile lounges, I think they can go to like wedding venues, family reunions, or whatever you want. They can truck and roll on out with them.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea overall, depending on the location that you go to, because there's definitely smoking ordinances in certain areas. But it's something like I said, when I went to the bike rally, I did bring my own cigars with me. I brought my Travador and I don't know, probably a dozen cigars. But when I was out there, I happened to see something I hadn't smoked before. I went over to the stand and took a look at it, and I could feel that, yep, it's got some spring to it. He definitely kept it humidified proper.
Yeah.
Went ahead and I bought it from the guy. I mean, he did travel with a trailer and, loaded to the hilt with cigars. Matter of fact, I think a lot of what he did have on there were Jonathan True cigars, True Estate cigars.
Well, I see them all over the place. It must be a very popular cigar. I don't normally pay attention to acid lines, but when I was shopping, I started popping up more like your face, your phone or your internet. It knows when you search something, and all of a sudden it floods you.
Yeah. And, I mean, basically, this is one of the gateway cigars for a lot of newer smokers. So you'll definitely end up seeing them more often when you do find cigars for sale.
My very first cigar I ever tried, I was at work. A couple of guys were outside in the parking lot enjoying one, and I walk out of the office, and it was a Man of War Ruination. The very first cigar I ever tried. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that thunder or lightning.
Yeah, I definitely heard that.
So now that I look back, I stepped into the deep water, the deep end. And I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I remember smoking some Cubas, but not Cuba.
So they threw you into the deep end. They didn't even give you a chance to get your ankles wet.
Ooh, no. I don't know if people out there's tried Man of War. A lot of have a little punch to them.
Yes.
Well, my ash fell.
Well, the thing with infused cigars is either you love them or you hate them. There's really no middle ground. But like I said, it is a gateway for a lot of newer smokers.
CigarPop, I don't hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate it. I could see me buying another 5-pack and keep it around. Probably last me a year.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I displayed the fresh pack, because you can get a 5-pack of these, and I could see keeping them around. It might be a nice disruption to the norm for a good coffee cigar, or even a late night dessert cigar.
Yeah,
because this one in particular, it doesn't give me that overwhelming sweetness and floral notes that I used to get with the other acid line. This one here is,
just sweet.
I guess it's more the Maduro showing through.
Now, our humidor pack you showing right there on the screen, I would leave it in there, or I would not take it out of that because I don't want to cross flavors with other cigars. I would definitely leave that pack.
Right. Well, that's one of the things when it comes to anything infused, you should always keep that in a separate humidor or Tupperware. You don't want to cross-contaminate your cigars with other, with the infused ones.
Right. And another thing I always recommend is always, if a cigar comes with a cellophane, leave it in the cellophane until it's time to smoke. I'm afraid with all the cigars I got, if I took it out and one of them happened to get a bug or something like that, a mold, and it passed on the other, I would just freak out. So I make sure I don't take none of them out.
I actually have my Tupperware separated that way. I've got one Tupperware that's just breakfast. I've got one for cigar reviews that we're doing. I keep them in a separate one so this way I can control the humidity better and make sure that what I'm tasting is their cigar. But then the other ones, like if it's not in cellophane, they go into one Tupperware, while my cellophane ones go in other Tupperwares. And I kind of broke them down by flavors. I have one Tupperware I call sweet. So I have like Legends and Legends Black and um oh God, I can't remember what. I can picture number 3, but I can't remember the name of the cigar. But it's also a Drew Estate. Um, Matter of fact, I think that entire Tupperware is Drew Estate.
Oh,
But
so you
then I
got
have a separate Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Yeah, so I have one Tupperware of Drew Estate that is like all the either sweet capped or infused or whatever in that one. And then I have in a separate Tupperware, like my Liga Privadas, my Undercrown, my Black and M81, and, you know,
Right, the regular
shade S84. Yeah, so I keep them separate. But like I said, I get a lot of the boutique cigars that either are not in a wrapper or you don't know how fresh they are. So I kind of quarantine them in a its own Tupperware, especially if it's not in cellophane. But I always keep an eye on those things anyway. I love to open up the Tupperwares and just, you know, inhaling that beautiful cedar and tobacco aroma.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so guys, we're enjoying today the Cuba Maduro by Acid. Not the Cuba Cuba, but the Cuba. Not the floral notes as the Cuba Cuba does. It's more of a really sweet coca flavor, little earthy tones to it. And CigarPop, I think you were picking up, you said some espresso possibly?
Yeah, and matter of fact, in the second third, I'm getting some, not so much espresso, more like a dark coffee. So it doesn't have that coffee bitterness that I thought I was picking up with the espresso, but I'm getting like a earth, a little bit of spice, but definitely like a molasses or, you know, like a dark syrupy type sweetness.
I hate to say, but all I taste is just sweetness. I taste the coca is me. It's so strong in here. It's not bad. It's like candy bar maybe.
Well, in the first third, I was definitely picking up a floral sweetness.
Yes,
It had that floral note, but into the second third, I'm not picking up the floral notes as much. You know, originally it was like what would you call it? I guess like botanicals, you know, like a floral botanical in the beginning. Towards the end of the first third, I was still getting that floral sweetness kind of in the background, but now in that second third, I mean, it's still an aromatic note. It's still, you know, very noticeable, but I'm picking up more earth, dark coffee, dark molasses, or molasses, dark syrupy kind of sweetness.
and what's I should be surprising to me, but it surprises when I can sit here and smell the smoke. Even had sweetness, the slight floral to it, but there's sweetness to it. I can smell it.
Yeah. I mean, as weird as it would sound, I can actually see myself leaving one of these things hanging from my rearview mirror of my truck. Use it as a air freshener. Not so much for the floral notes, but more for the that sweet tobacco kind of aroma.
And if you're in a time for a cigar, just reach up to your rearview mirror and pull it off. Oh, that's funny.
Well, I remember back in the 80s when I was smoking cigarettes, they used to have a cigarette inside of a glass tube with a match. Let's see, we lost you there for a second. Let's go ahead.
I don't know what happened. My electricity didn't blink. I don't know what happened. I apologize, guys. But you were saying back in you were smoking cigarettes, what?
Yeah, so back in the late 80s when I was smoking cigarettes, used to be able to get this glass tube that had one cigarette and a match that you could just flick with your thumb and light. So it was your emergency cigarette. It was a novelty thing, but you know, I used to actually have one. I kept it in my truck when I was riding around, or the Mustang I used to have.
Well, Road X Overland 2917 is not a bad cigar. Like I said, I could see me buying another 5-pack and just probably take me a whole year to smoke it. I don't know, depending on my mood. Definitely a change of pace. It's not bad at all.
No, it's definitely a change of pace. I wouldn't put this in the same category as like the Buenos Noches or the Fat Bottom Betty. This is a true infused cigar. So this would be a separate category.
Absolutely.
But, you know, here's one of the big debates when it comes to these kind of cigars. People, when they come to an infused, they don't count it as a premium cigar. To me, if it's still long filler, it's still hand rolled, it still has a good burn line, it still cuts and holds its shape, you know, it's not unraveling on me. To me, this is a premium cigar. And I know Jonathan Drew will also say that this is a premium cigar. So don't knock every infused cigar as being, you know, other than premium, because this has premium construction, and I'm pretty sure it's premium tobacco as well.
I would venture to say, yeah, I don't think he would use anything second rate.
No, I don't think he would either. But one thing that I noticed with this is I think that the Maduro wrapper, it tones down that floral, botanical type aroma and taste, and gives it more depth, because this is something I don't mind smoking. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. And every time I take a puff off of it, I find myself licking my lips and kind of chewing a little bit, because it's not bad at all. I mean, I'm really kind of enjoying this, much to my surprise.
Yeah, I don't think this has as much of a sweetened cap on it as the Cuba Cuba does. I think this is, I mean, it's still sweet, but it's not as sweet. But then again, it could be because I'm picking up the Maduro wrapper.
I tell you what, we might have to do the Cuba Cuba in the near future.
Torture me, huh?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of curious. It's been so long since I've actually smoked a infused cigar from start to finish. Like I said, the little cigarillos, I'll cut it, light it for my wife, and just hand it off to her, and that's the end of it. And I get that little flavor. It's kind of funky because at the time I'm smoking a traditional cigar, if you will. But
right,
kind of curious.
I mean, now I smoke infused cigars every day because I smoke a tobacco for my breakfast cigar, or even a nub or in my Macanudo. But I prefer the tobacco line. And
describe a little bit of the notes you get off of it.
Oh, it depends on which one you smoke, but I definitely get, like, right now I just ordered, was it the red eye? And to me, the red eye seems like I get a lot of espresso out of it. The Negra to me is more like a regular coffee, but I'm sure I pick up some espresso notes in that. But the one that's like the creme de la creme, that's the cafe de leche. Yeah, cafe de leche. Sorry, I got a tickle on my throat at that time as I was saying it. So cafe con leche.
What would you think would pair great with just black coffee?
Well, actually, it depends, because the cafe con leche is actually, to me, is like espresso with cream and sugar. To me, I just love that. It's it's the one that I said in my book that I love when I can't tell if I'm smoking my coffee or drinking my cigar, because it gives me the same kind of flavors.
I may have to,
Uh,
like I said, I'm not into infused cigars, but I may have to try that.
yeah, the Cafe con Leche to me is definitely like, the pinnacle of the tobaccos for me, because, like I said, I really enjoy uh, that creamy espresso, sweetened espresso flavor note.
Right.
But the Negra is normally my everyday go-to tobacco, and then I'll mix it up and I'll throw the red eye in there in between. All in all, the Cuba Maduro is exactly what it sets out to be. It's rich, sweet, aromatic, and unapologetically infused. The Maduro wrapper adds a darker layer of cocoa, espresso, and earthiness that separates it from the standard Cuba Cuba while still keeping that signature acid sweetness and room note intact. Whether infused cigars are your thing or not, you have to respect what Drew Estate created with this line and the impact it's had on bringing new smokers into the hobby. We appreciate all of you coming and hanging out with us tonight, joining the conversation, and continue to support Keep 'em Lit Guys. Keep the cigar suggestions and guest recommendations coming, because we've got a lot more planned ahead. And until next time, smoke what you like what you smoke, and keep 'em lit, guys.
For more pro tips and honest reviews, like, subscribe, and as always, keep them lit, guys.